Hi everyone, Suzanne Etkin here with a presentation on focusing your outreach for your capstone project. Um, your outreach goals for your capstone project are three. First, you're introducing yourself as a master watershed steward in your community, and you're sharing a little bit about what you found in your community assessment. You're engaging your community in a collective action through a rainscaping project or an educational program, depending on what track you're in. And then you're trying to promote one stewardship action in your community. So the one action that you might have identified in your assessment is something that many people in your community could do that would help reduce pollution in local waterways. And what we're going to do through this short three-part presentation is to apply some of the key principles of social science to help make your outreach much more effective. And there's four takeaways that we're going to focus on in this series. The first is to choose one habit that you want your community to adopt, something they haven't adopted yet, but they're likely to adopt. So something people are already interested in doing, already likely to do, but they haven't done yet. Second is to figure out what group in your community is most likely to adopt this habit. Your outreach does not have to focus on your entire community. In fact, it's much better if you can choose a small group within your community. The third is that you're going to ask that group what help they need adopting a habit that they already want to adopt. And you might think that sounds silly, well, if they already want to adopt a habit, then why haven't they adopted the habit? I'll tell you a little story about myself. Um, I am an environmental educator and I am very aware of things that I should do that help me to live a little bit lighter on the land and reduce my pollution. And one of those things about a decade ago that I was not doing was using reusable bags at the grocery store. And I really wanted to use reusable bags. So I bought a lot of bags. I kept them in my car, and I just couldn't figure out um, how I could change that behavior. And I had to really ask myself, what kind of help did I need to change that behavior? So that's a behavior I already knew about that I wanted to change, but I had trouble changing. Um, and so I needed to give myself some help, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later in this. And then the last thing is just to give your community the help that they say. Um, so it's really wise to choose, just one action. Too many choice. It's tempting to give people a menu of actions that they can choose from, but really we find that too many choices, people are overwhelmed and they do nothing. It's also important to show them what we call the $5 action, the action that the average person can take right away. Doesn't require a lot of buy-in in terms of either money or time or skill, but start people with something that they can easily adopt. Um, and then the next and really, really important thing is that education and awareness is never enough to change someone's behavior. Yes, you might need to increase awareness before people can adopt a behavior, but that is never, ever the thing that is preventing people, at least it's not preventing most people from change. Here's why. This is the diffusion of innovations curve. This is a general curve of human beings adopting most new behaviors. And you can see on the left-hand side, there's a small group of people that if you just show them what to do, tell them what to do, they're going to go out and do it. We call them the show me group, the early adopters, and they're the people that if you tell them that English ivy is really bad for trees and they should go remove it, they're out there. They're out there on Saturday morning. They're on it. They've got it done. They've already looked up the YouTube on how to remove English ivy and they're on it. And then on the other side, you have a percentage of the population that they're not going to do it no matter what. I call these my Uncle Georges. Um, because my Uncle George is the grumbly neighbor that I have that, whatever environmental thing that I want to do, he's not gonna he's not gonna participate on principle. And sometimes it's just not a good fit for people, or it's not important to them, doesn't rise to the importance. Of the other things that they have to do, it's really important not to get distracted by that group of people in your community. Don't get distracted, don't get discouraged, don't give a whole lot of time and energy, because you have a whole big group of people in the middle of that curve that might desire to take the action or adopt the habit, but they just need a little bit of help. And here's um, we as a society spend a whole lot of money providing education and information for people on what they should do. We have websites, we do pamphlets, flyers, we might give talks, lots of different things. And we know that that really is only a successful intervention for a small part of the community. And on the flip side, we spend a lot of money as a society on regulations and litigation, and we know that that really only works for a small percentage of population, but really most people, we leave high and dry. We don't help them. And so this three-part series is to help us figure out how we can help the people in the middle.